right. Oh my gosh. And I guess here we are.
Well,
Lord have mer-
hello.
I know. I was like, well, hello, hello. How are you?
That's right. How are
I know. It's
you?
like long time no see.
Right. Yeah. It's been forever since we've seen each other. Hey, Christy, how are you?
Hey, Christy. Hello. Long time no see. Hopefully, there'll be quite a bit of that. But thanks for joining, Christy. Oh my gosh, you
Yeah.
guys, it's my first YouTube
And
live.
it's Leslie,
Hello,
lovely
Leslie.
Leslie,
Hello,
and
Michelle.
magnificent Michelle. Look at that.
I'm like, long time no see.
I
But
know.
thank you guys for joining, Michelle, Leslie, Christy. Well, as I was saying, you guys, it's my first YouTube live. So I'm really excited. And of course, I see myself and I see Terry. So I'm hoping that you guys are seeing us and we're looking good.
And you can hear us well.
Right, and can hear us well. Christy
Yeah.
says it feels like years. I know, right? Well, so I really wanted to, well, actually, Terry and I have been kind of talking about doing a couple of things together. So I'm kind of feeling some type of way. I think that I thought she was going first and I was going second, but here we are.
Well,
So,
wait a minute now. Because you, I got you. Well, duly noted. You can beat me up later.
oh, that's not, you know what, girl? Look, that's really a shame to say. I'm good to go live anytime. Somebody say live, here I am. But
And you are good because you are like, oh, hey, Nikki, how you doing?
hey, Nikki, thanks for joining.
Yeah, make
So,
sure I'm not missing anybody.
right, well, I tell you that I really wanted to,
Oh, and make sure, I'm sure all of you ladies have done it, but do like it.
yes, please, please like it. Thumbs up, comment, and share. Thank you. I really wanted to do this, all jokes aside. I really wanted to do this and I wanted to break off and do a little something different under Brunch with Diva. And I really wanted to get into my weight loss journey. So I know that I mean, I'm sure you guys, it's like McDonald's. You've heard the commercial more than once, more than twice, more than 50,000 times. But here, I think I'm just going to be going into a little bit more detail about that. So hopefully, I can I'll try to give the cliff notes as much as possible.
Well, I really appreciate all that you're doing. I mean, and you're just such a I just want to say thank you for having me, by the way. And you're just such a phenomenal spirit. You just have this like this aura about you, So I just want to mention that to you, and I really appreciate you.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. Thanks, Leslie, for congratulating me. Thanks, Michelle.
um,
I'm glad we look good and great. Thank you.
yeah. Is it all right if I ask you a question because you've been putting some interesting content in Instagram? If that's okay, can I
Oh,
ask a
sure.
little bit about
Yeah.
it? Then we get
Yeah.
into your weight loss journey.
Yeah.
You were talking about extended sizes, and I thought that was very interesting because I had never really thought about that anymore. Do
Mhm.
you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, this kind of goes back to me being, large on the larger end of things.
Hmm.
And I actually was wearing like a 6X, almost into a 7, depending on what brand it was.
Hmm.
So, those sizes are actually out there. They can be found, but I know that it's difficult when it comes to, finding them to resale. So I think even when I got my Jomar box, I did end up with like at least a few 6X's. But the
Oh
ones,
wow! Okay.
yeah, but the ones that I found, of the ones that I owned, I mean, they sold so fast. And I know that there's a market for, people out there. And I'm just going to use this as an example. And this is no shade. When I was watching my 500-pound life, is that what it's called? And I would always say, God, where are they finding these clothes from?
Hmm.
Because even though I wasn't at 500 pounds, I wasn't far, you know. And I was like, where are they finding these clothes at? Where are they finding these clothes at? So, it took me doing a little research, and I, eventually found the clothes. But a lot of people don't know that plus sizes usually start plus size. You usually start at 16, 18. Now,
Right, right.
some stores have tried to sneak 14s in there
Yeah.
to start the plus size.
Right.
But your typical plus size woman normally starts at 16, 18 and goes up from there. But then they stop it maybe like at 5X,
Okay.
4X or 5X. And then they go from the 6 or 7. That's what's considered extended sizes. Extended plus, actually.
Oh, extended plus. Okay,
Yes,
that's
extended
good.
plus. So, I mean, I have seen sizes go up to, 12X, 13X.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So,
And
I mean, I'm actually doing a little bit more research, or, so I can probably, come up with some names of companies or brands that, have extended sizes.
well, I just think it's such an interesting topic you brought up because when I saw it, it really piqued my interest because realistically speaking, I do realize that that is a niche, and I have no idea where you would get those clothes. Like you were talking about, you were wondering where they were getting the clothes from. I mean, I couldn't even imagine, but then at the same time, I get what you're saying. If you did have access to that and you were as a reseller offering that, I'm pretty sure you would do really well. And I had just never thought about it before until you said so. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
mean,
interesting.
that's why I really, I'm really digging in and wanting to bring plus sizes more to the forefront as far as reselling go. I know people always, I sell plus sizes, I sell plus sizes. Yes, I mean, I think all of us pretty much sell your typical plus sizes, but I kind of
Right.
want to dig into and let it be known that there's more, um, there are other sizes, there are extended sizes as well, because
Hmm.
for those people who are, larger. I mean, they aren't your typical 4X, 5X, 3X, 2X. They go beyond the spectrum, of what we call normal plus sizes. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Philly Fashion Week. Oh yeah. Well, some of them I have noticed that some try to sneak that 12 in there, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I know I've done a little bit of plus size modeling, and they definitely do try to sneak the 12 in there, 12 on up.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Mm-hmm.
even had I think it was a Sports Illustrated bathing suit model. Now, this was probably, I want to say probably about 3 or 4 years back. And they
Mm-hmm.
were making a really big thing about it. It's like, this is the first plus size model on Sports Illustrated.
Oh
Blase,
yes,
blase.
yes.
And guess what size she was? She was a size 12. So, like, when you actually looked at it, if you have a woman that is tall, because I'm tall, and when I was
Mm-hmm.
size 12, I definitely didn't look like I was plus size because the taller you are, the more you can kind of carry those sizes.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
she definitely didn't look plus size. And then found out, sure enough, she was a size 12, which in that industry, they consider plus size. And
Mm-hmm.
and you would have never known it. Of course, now they've got I forgot the model's name. She's a very
Is it
beautiful.
Ashley Graham?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because even has her swimsuit line, and I think she
Uh-huh.
she is definitely obviously considered plus size. She's probably around 16, size 16 to 18, somewhere in there.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
she's got her bathing
And
suit line
before
now.
her, was Elle, and she was actually the first plus size model to
She
grace
sure
her.
was. She
Yeah.
sure was. And she,
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact, I'm glad you brought her up because she was even on People's. I think they had like 100 most beautiful people or something like that, and
Yes.
they actually put her up there in the new. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
remember that or not,
Mm-hmm.
but they sure did. So I was like, wow.
Yeah, I do remember that because I kept up with her, and then of
Hmm.
course, when Ashley Graham came on the scene,
Hmm.
I keep up with her and her journey and what she has going on. So
Yeah,
there,
she's just
there,
fine.
there are quite a few out there that I kind of keep up with and see, what's going on with them, and they kind of keep you in the know and the loop of things.
Yeah, they sure do. And like you said, Ashley, she's done a really good job. I like what she's done with her swimsuit line because obviously she's not only catering it to plus size women, but she had the mindset for women of all ages. So she's kind of doing a plus size one of all ages. And I was like looking at like her line. And then of course she has models fitting that too. And it was really nice. I don't know if anybody's got a chance to check that out or not, but I thought it was pretty good. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is. I really like her as a person too, and you know what she stands for. So you know, she's cool beans with me.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. But I'm glad you shared it because, like I said, I was like extended sizes, and you know, and of course, I think in the back of people's minds, they do realize that obviously there are other sizes past 3X, but we just don't think about it as much because we don't see it. So a lot of times when we don't see something, we don't think about it. And
out of sight, out of mind.
I was like, wow, I can see that, you know, being something important. Just like there's certain companies that tailor to, and I don't know what you call them, but I guess bigger size shoes that are like unusual, you know what I mean?
Oh,
unusually sized shoes and stuff like that. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, those are custom size shoes.
Yeah, there you go. So for you, being that you at one point was in the extended, where did you end up shopping, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, no, I don't mind. Well, you know, actually, Catherine's would have sizes. Women Within has sizes. Full Beauty.
I've heard of Women Within.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not sure, I'd never really shopped at Roman's, but I believe they have a few extended sizes as well. But definitely Catherine's if we're looking for, you know, just a front store, you know, type of thing. But online, Women Within, Full Beauty.
Yeah, Women Within, and you bring up a good point about that too, because I guess from a reseller standpoint, they actually have some really good sales sometimes.
Oh, they really do. Yeah,
they really do. So that's something for people to think about. Like, going to grab some of those sales and then put it in your closet. But they be having some really good sales, like really good ones.
And if you catch them at the right time, you can, you know, make a killing.
Yes. Definitely.
And now that you said because I used to stock
that, I'm gonna be looking.
I used to stock up on their t-shirts.
Oh my goodness.
And it's so funny because now those t-shirts have become my sleep shirts. Because I was like, I'm not getting rid of these. These are still pretty good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep them and cut the arms out, and these are my sleep shirts. So
and then with Corona, you're at the house a lot, so you're like, you want something comfortable and cute at the same time, right?
Right. You know, I don't know about cute, but comfortable, yes.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't call you diva for, you know, a reason. I know. I feel with all confidence if I was to talk to a family member right now, they're gonna be like, "Oh, she never looks bad." You wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, she gonna be diva first thing. I believe that. If I ask a family member, I do.
So, you know, I'm gonna have to get them on the payroll, so they I'm gonna need them to sign a what do you call it?
I don't know.
DBA, whatever that is. One of those shut your mouth type contracts.
So in regards to like your weight loss journey. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
In regards to your like weight loss journey, I know you were talking about your year of me and everything, but your weight loss. When exactly did your weight loss journey start?
Well, it actually, I'm like, it actually started. It was 2018. Okay. And it was actually when I got it in my head, it was January. It was like the new year. Well, I don't typically make resolutions, but it was the new year. And so I really was having a conversation with the man upstairs. And I just said, you know, I want to better my life. You know, from this point on, I'm going to work on myself, mind, body, soul, all three. And that was when I started the year of me. So it was shortly around July when I said, no, actually it was June. And I found out that I could use my insurance for weight loss surgery. So I checked in all that, got all the specifics down and things like that. Had my meeting with my doctor. He said, you need to lose 50 pounds. At this point in time, oh my God, y'all. At this point in time, when I had to go to the doctor, see my weight loss doctor, they have to weigh you. So of course, I really never knew how much I weighed. I would have said anything. I would have said I weighed 250 and looking like a can of busted biscuits. But
we always have we're supposed to have a better vision of ourselves. I
right.
was looking like one thing and found out later on I was looking really crazy when somebody took a picture of me. That's why I don't like people taking pictures of me unless I know.
Oh, yeah, right. So, and it was this, I think that this was the moment that it really, really set in for me, was when I stepped on the scale and the doctor is down this hallway. The nurse, office manager nurse, she was right here by me. And then she happened to look at the scale and she wrote it down or whatever. And I was like, oh, and I had my other half with me at the time. And I was like, oh, don't look. So, so she blurts it out. She was like, oh, she weighed 464 pounds.
I've been really angry with her, especially after she knew that you were not trying to share that because you told him not to look. Oh my God.
I was horrified.
Oh my God.
I was horrified for two reasons. I was horrified that she said it so out loud. And I even said, who's she talking about? Who's she talking about? I'm the only one on the scale, by the way. Who's she talking about? But then it was just the fact that I actually weighed 464 pounds. It was hard. I was horrified.
But you bring another topic in my head, because I feel like at times people are so disrespectful when it comes to people that have weight, because when I go to the doctor and they do my weight, I have to actually ask for my weight. Never say it out loud. So for her to actually say it out loud and apparently loud enough for other people to hear, I just feel like it was almost like a dig, because, maybe she's not accustomed to people at that size. But, it's not like you said, ooh, I want to be this size. I'm going to be this size, and this is what I'm going to be.
Yes, I woke up that morning and said, make me 464 pounds. I'll just take that. But you know what? The thing about it is, this is how it can become such a mental thing, is that in my mind, I didn't think I was anywhere close to that. In my mind, I did not, I could not even visualize that I was at so many pounds away from 500 pounds while I'm watching the show, My 500 Pound Life. None of that computed for me. I would have never thought that. So the day that I found that out, I was devastated.
It was a wake-up call for you. Yeah,
it was.
Oh, wow.
But it brought back everything that I felt like I had been going through, because I always say that I might have been breathing, but I was not living. Okay. And that is exactly how I felt. I'm here, I'm breathing, but I wasn't living, because my life felt like it had already stopped. And I was just trapped in this existence. And I just had to keep going, because the people in my house would have never understood where I was coming from. My whole entire house would have fallen had I been able to say, this is how I feel, this is what I'm going through, or whatever. So I was just breathing day to day.
I like that term that you're using, because, a lot of people do that. Not even dealing with weight, by the way, just in general. Yeah. They're just breathing, but they're not really living. So that's actually a great point that you put up there. So you realize that, and that's when because I know before you even had the weight loss surgery, and this is what I wanted to ask you about, because I know you got some phenomenal tips on this. You lost, it was over 50 pounds, right? Before you actually had the service. So what did you do that?
Well, my doctor asked for me to lose 50 pounds. I actually lost 70 pounds before surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And he recommended protein shakes, and I was supposed to have one at least twice a day.
Okay.
So I did use, I just kind of stocked up on them. And I, in the morning, that would be what I would have first thing. And he told me to have plenty of protein. So eggs and I were best friends. I mean, scrambled eggs, fried eggs, boiled eggs. I mean, however
Oh,
I
so you
could
just
have.
had them all different types of ways. You didn't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
worry about if they're okay. That's
yeah.
good to know.
Because
Yeah.
what I did, if I had, I love a good fried egg. And, I think that I would use Pam, my skillet,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and fry that egg right on up. So, I just started making, I had already stopped drinking soda because I don't really drink a lot of soda anymore. I haven't really drank soda like constantly every day for years.
Mm-hmm.
But once you stop drinking that soda, girl, you're going to lose that 10 pounds right away. Bada bing,
Mm-hmm.
bada boom.
Yeah, if
But
you're drinking soda to begin with, that's a
yes,
true
and I
statement.
love, and I loved water. So that was never a problem for me drinking
Mm-hmm.
water.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I did. I consumed more water. I did my protein first thing in the morning. Probably about 10ish or so, I'd have my breakfast. Later on, I just had a schedule. Around this time, I'll have a little lunch. That might have
Mm-hmm.
consumed of, tuna, little fruit. I try to have some fruit with every meal. I know most of the time they try to tell you not to have fruit, but it just depends on what the fruit is.
Right. And
You
did you find
know.
out like what type of fruits did you think that
Well,
actually
now,
obviously you lost the weight? So what type of fruits really worked for you?
well, I really, I stuck with, grapefruit because I can still have grapefruit.
Oh yeah, that's a great
Um,
one anyway.
I,
Yeah.
strawberries, grapes, blueberries.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
get because I started reading up on things, and certain fruits provide you with certain antioxidants
Right.
or various things like that. So I started reading up on what worked. But every day for 6 months, I was on this, protein, protein, protein. I would even I mean, I still do today, keep lean cuisine, smart ones, or things like that. Some days I
Right.
might have that. I still had to cook for my family. So there would be days where I might eat a little portion of that, or I
Mhm.
just would stick to something, a salad or whatever the case may be. I ate a lot of salads, um, chicken, 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 chicken. I'd throw some steak in there every now and then, or
Yeah.
some ground turkey. I'd make some ground turkey burgers.
Hmm.
So I mean, I just kind of limited myself. And let me tell you, I didn't eat chips all the time, but when I
Right.
did, I would count out the serving size. So if that bag said I could have 15, I might
Hmm.
have 12.
Good. Good
But
for
I
you.
would count out the serving size, and I would start paying attention to labels. And they
Hmm.
said, "This is your serving size. This is what you're going to get, blah, blah, blah." So that's how I started going by serving size. And some
Hmm.
of us, a serving size at restaurants these days, what is that? They don't, I mean, a whole plate is like 3 or 4
They give you
servings.
like 4 or 5 servings on a plate at some restaurants anyway. At some
Yes,
restaurants.
at some
Yeah.
restaurants.
Hmm. They give you
So
about that.
So for 6 months, I had from July until my surgery was scheduled in February. So I even over the holidays, I might have consumed, me some dressing and some turkey, but
Mhm.
I really didn't. I let the desserts kind of go by the wayside because at this point I wasn't really craving anything sweet. You know,
So basically, you were only required to lose 20 pounds, but you lost 50. Well,
no,
past
I
50.
was
Really.
I was required before
Mhm.
to lose 50, but I
Oh,
lost
okay.
70.
You lost 70. I apologize. So yeah,
Yes.
you were required to lose 50, but you lost 70. And that was within a 6 month time period. Is that about
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Wow, that is phenomenal. I
Yep.
mean, so that's basically you were doing, and the cool thing about it is you were basically staying with what they said was typically healthy weight because you're doing like 10 to 12 pounds a month.
Hmm.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
that's
and I tell you that I think that I had just got to a point where I had that focus if I want to have this weight loss surgery, I have to lose these 50 pounds. And
Right.
so it really gives you the motivation and something to work towards
Mm-hmm.
when you have something like that. And not to mention even just the surgery, but I was saving my life.
Yeah, and that's
I
you
mean,
can't put a price tag on
I,
that.
I was saving my life, and I
That's
wanted
right.
my quality of life back because, like I said, I lived most of my life in the bed because my knees hurt so bad, my body ached. I was, people were doing things for me. I mean, my granddaughter would do things for me. My spouse was doing things for me. I mean, it was just that I mean, they were pretty much my legs. I mean, it was just so much that was going on that I mean, I longed for the days where I could be able to get up and just go get myself a cup of ice without feeling the pain and then get off the I think I was on 6 to 7 medications.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you're
Right.
definitely right about saving your life because my husband's mom, she was like 5'11", and she was actually, now that we're talking about it, hadn't thought about it, like I said, until me and you were having this conversation, but she would be considered extended size.
Mm-hmm.
And she was probably like that for like years. And I actually told my husband, I was like, she might want to consider getting weight loss surgery. I had mentioned this to him, and he was like, well, she should just use it herself. She should just lose it herself. And I said, I understand that. I said, but she is past the size where it could possibly be very complicated for her to do it
Mm-hmm.
completely by herself. But to make a long story short, she did, pass away at her, to me, I feel like an age that she didn't have to pass away at, if that makes any sense. And
Right,
it was
right.
because of her weight. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
definitely right about
And,
that. And like
yeah.
you were saying about her not being able to walk, that was exactly her. She couldn't walk. She had two children that were going to college, and they basically had to do everything from her. Her daughter had went to stay in a dorm, and she had to come back from the dorm to stay in the house and do college work from there, just because she had to do things for her mom because her mom could not get up.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is I could of course manage to get up, go to the restroom, or
Hmm.
whatever. I could, shower and things like that. I had the shower chair, or I had to, just do whatever I had to do to, get this body clean.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, definitely.
get this body clean, because honey,
Gotta
when
be
you're a
fresh.
bigger girl, honey, you have to stay freshy fresh. So, I mean, I did all that. And, I mean, but there were some embarrassing moments that I've had, you know, um, and made me feel some type of way. And it was just like all these things that, go along with being, over 400 pounds. I mean, it really can put you in a place. And I don't know. I mean, I do think, I'm not going to say that I was not depressed, but I feel like at times I didn't have time to be depressed. I don't know if that
Okay.
makes sense because,
It
I
does.
still had
You're
to,
very busy because you were busy anyway, right?
I was in school.
Hmm.
Actually, I was in school, but I think that running the house, you're making sure there's this, and you got to make sure the groceries. You got to make sure everybody's doing this. You got to pay the bit. Just so much going on. I didn't have the time. I felt like to even just be depressed. I felt
Okay.
a certain way,
Hmm.
but I could not lean into that all the way because I don't think anyone around me would have understood exactly how I felt at that time. Because some of the people that were around me they would have viewed that as a sign of weakness because that's how they were raised.
Yes, you're right.
So they would have viewed that as a sign of weakness. Oh, mama, but this, you just get up and you just be fine. Everything will be okay.
Yeah,
No.
people don't really get like my husband, for example. My husband's very slim. So even though his mom was extended size, he's slim. He's 6'2" and he's slim. And so sometimes he'll like say things and about people. And he was definitely hard on his mom. And I used to constantly tell him, I said, once you get a certain size, it doesn't come off like that. You can't just get out and run and walk. I said, for one thing, she's having
Right.
a hard time walking around the house. I said, it doesn't work that way, but so I'm thinking about how my husband acts, what I mean? And he's a family member, and you just think about other people, and you'll see, like, sometimes you'll see people that are overweight, like on Instagram, post something, and then you'll see some of the nasty comments people give, like, well, they need to do this, they need to do that, nobody's like, okay, I'm gonna be this size. And
Right. I mean, no one asked to be that size. Now,
right.
no one,
Yeah.
I think no one asked to be that size. I
Right.
do think that for me, I think that it was a series of, now, first of all, let me just say, I've never been like a skinny mini anyway. I always had, hips and booty,
Right. I know what you mean.
So, yeah. So, I was never a small size. So I think I was always thicker than a Snicker. But I think that after I suffered the loss of my dad, which was very devastating for me.
Right.
And because I was, really close with my father. And, that in itself just took a toll on me. And it didn't come to me until someone saw my mom died. I lost my dad 1 year. My mom died a year and a month later.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still grieving my dad when my mom died.
And that's too much. Losing a parent is hard.
And went to have my mom's memorial, and someone said, "Oh, she's gotten bigger since her dad died." And I was just like, okay. And I just, brushed it off or whatever. But, I know that I had, because I think I know that I was just eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. But no one just really asked for it to, people just want to enjoy some food and not have to see, yourself blow up.
And what people don't understand is, and this is really true, that people have different metabolism rates. Mm-hmm. And, so that's why everybody's not skinny, right. Really, because people do have different metabolism rates. People process things differently than others. Now, granted, we do know sometimes it could be just about the discipline of how you're eating and how you're working out. And we understand that. And you can see that sometimes. But for some people, like, I can relate to what you're saying about never really being skinny, because truth be told, I was never really skinny, and I was a very active child, very active. I mean, sometimes they called me a tomboy. I was constantly riding a bike, I'm playing sports, I'm all over the place, and I didn't even eat a lot. That's the thing. I didn't even eat a lot, but I had a cousin. She was active like me too. We ate probably about the same, but she was skinny. She's like this big, weighed nothing. And I was always probably 10 to 20 pounds heavier than her.
Right.
And taller. And it was like, and I would get things like, well, she's definitely not slim, because like I was adopted, obviously. And so I came from a family of women that they were all very small. It's like they're size 2 to maybe 6 is their size range. And they did nothing. They didn't work out. They didn't have to worry about what, they were eating. And really, none of them really gained weight until, like, a lot of times they got over their 40s, and then they would gain weight. But even then, they would just gain it like in a midsection. But you hear that story all the time, that some people don't start gaining weight until, they get older, because they're hormones
around that time, things like that.
Yeah. So,
oh, well, I'm like, well, I was already there. I mean, I think around that time, I was in my 50s when all that business happened. But I just think that people just don't realize, and even myself, I mean, I did nails for over 25 years. So my eating habit was pretty much already jacked up, because in between clients, I was eating and somebody would make a run to Chick-fil-A or run to McDonald's or, whatever fast food was close by. And and quick to get to is what I ate throughout the day. Now I might have gone
Right.
home and had a nice meal or something like that. But as much as I was on the go, I ate a lot of fast food, fast food, fast food, fast food. But when I decided to, embark on this weight loss journey, I cut fast food out
Right.
altogether. Yeah.
Right.
And the only thing that I did eat was Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets.
Oh yeah, they're
And
good.
and I got the salad, like I would go to, what is it, Panera, have a salad or make a salad at home or something
Right.
like that. Every now I treat myself, which I should stop saying that because we're not dogs. We don't treat ourselves. I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah, we're not gonna give us a little doctor treat.
but I would get something, that I probably wouldn't have all the time. And Starbucks came out with those egg bites. So I would, on the weekends, I'll be like, oh yes, I'm going to get a skinny vanilla latte and some egg bites. But, so different things like that. It wasn't that I was strict on myself, but I allowed myself to enjoy some outside things sometimes. But people just don't know that my metabolism is not fast. I mean, it's just not. And I knew that from a long time ago because I could look at a piece of cheesecake and feel my hips expand.
And well, I definitely can relate because, like I said, I was very active. I was like more active than like all my cousins. And then I started running track. And when I ran track, that was the only time I literally got slim. The only time. But to do that, I think we were working out so much.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing weights. I was running because I was doing long distance running at the time. So I would run probably like 4 or 5 miles a day, like running.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a lot of physical activities. So that is like the only time. That was pretty much the slimmest time I was. And that was like in high school. And so, and even like now, I probably could lose, like I guess more weight than what I'm doing, but I would literally probably have to work out probably about 3 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. And see,
And I don't know if that's necessarily realistic for me all the time. I want to try to stick with something that I know I can realistically do and still be healthy.
Exactly.
So, and my numbers are healthy.
And with you saying that, I took ballet from the 5th grade to my senior year in high school. Mm-hmm. Not to mention in between that time, we'd have PE, pep squad, different things like that, mm-hmm. But I was getting that exercise, but it, I was still, I was still on the thick side.
Yeah.
So even with ballet, my instructor really didn't even think that I would be able to do point, but I did.
Yeah, you could, because I've ran into a couple of people that were actually very, I guess you would call them physically fit, but not mm-hmm. what you would expect as far as looks go.
Right.
If you know what I'm trying to say. Because I actually had a friend, oh my gosh, she was like a serious athlete because she played basketball, baseball, and there was another sport she played, when she was going to school. And the whole time, and she was a phenomenal athlete. And, you had to do a lot of training. But the whole time she was literally considered a plus size. Mm-hmm. She never got out of plus size the whole time, but she was a phenomenal athlete. There would be nobody that would not have wanted her on the team. She was one of the best that they had. She just, her body would not,
And I was just, and I was a dancer. I mean, I danced. I love to dance. I still love to dance. Y'all know, because, I did a little video, I try to move around a little bit. But I tell you that I have always just been that person. I just loved having a good time. I love moving around, love dancing. All that. Even as as I got older and was plus size, up until the time that my knees really started giving me problems, I still, did all those things. Mm-hmm. And, I just think that now I'm at a point where, again, here I am needing to lose weight so that I could have knee surgery. Right. And again, I have to lose 50 pounds in order to do that. But before that even happens, now I'm embarking on not only this weight loss journey that I hope that, people will join me on, because I won't be able to exactly lose 50 right away because I'm going to have plastic surgery to remove some of the loose skin that I have. My what some would call a fupa, I call a flopper because it's just a hot mess. So, it's just a
Love
flopper,
it. It's a
flopping all over the
flopper.
place.
You know,
Yeah,
major
flopper all over
word
the
there.
place.
It's a flopper. Get rid of that flopper.
You have to get rid of that flopper, honey. So, and most people, who don't know is that when you lose an excessive amount of weight, you do have all of that stomach and a flopper that you have to deal with that becomes bundlesome. And then, you're dressing to camouflage it. You're dressing to get your clothes to fit. Where I'm sure that I wear a smaller size, but I have to dress not only for the flopper, I still have to dress for the booty. So I need some of this to go. The booty didn't seem like it wanted to go anywhere, so the flopper must go.
The butt is a hard area to get rid of. And that, and for me, my bosom, those two areas, if I can scale those down, I would actually look a lot smaller than what I am.
Well, let me just tell you,
are hard to scale down for me.
At the risk of sounding like Whoopi Goldberg, my boobs, like, man, sad. Roll them up and just stuff them in the bra. But I was just amazed at the shape that your body goes through once you do lose. Because I lost over 200 plus pounds.
Yeah, and kudos to you for doing that, though. And the thing that I really love is you lost 70 pounds on your own.
Yes.
Oh
and then it makes you wonder, though, now why couldn't I lose this 70 pounds on my own in the first place?
You was motivated, though.
Yes. I was just like, oh, well, look at here. I can get me some weight loss surgery and really be down. But the thing is, I don't want people to be I don't want to misconstrue things. It's just because I had weight loss surgery simply because I had exhausted everything else. I had exhausted all the avenues of trying to do it myself. I had exhausted, you trying different programs, talk Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers, whatever else, or just trying to, what is it? I don't even like cabbage, so I'm not going to say the cabbage diet, but for some people, the cabbage diet. But, the grapefruit diet, the egg diet, the diet cookie diet. I mean, so many avenues. Got to a point where I had exhausted all of that. So this is why I knew that I needed help. In order to save my own life, I needed help. I was tired of just breathing. I wanted to live. I wanted my quality of life back. And if that's what it took for me to gain all of that, because I was always a very confident person. I mean, anybody who's known me for any amount of years knows that I was always a very confident person. Confident in myself, my walk, my talk, and everything.
I have no doubt in that, Miss Diva.
And for me to be at this, space to where I felt helpless for my own self. I mean, I couldn't do for myself. So, I think I'm so thankful and grateful each and every day, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is my second act. And in this second act, I want to do all of the things I hadn't been able to do. I want to do some new things. And most of all, I just want to help someone else, because I know how hard it is. I know how hard this weight loss journey is.
Well, I think the conversation you had about the 70 pounds, because to be honest with you, I'm definitely going to join you, and you're going to try to lose additional 50 is what you're saying. You're working on knee surgery. So I'm going to join you. And I'll be honest, my body's at plateau heaven because I work out and everything, but I am going to give it a go.
Yeah. And I tell you that I will say this, and I'm not bragging, but the way, as I always say, the way my knees are set up, I did not exercise any during losing that 70 pounds.
Right.
But, that wasn't because, and today it's not because I don't want to. I'm not motivated. I'm not a big exercise person. But if I could walk like I wanted to walk, I would be walking every day. But at this point in time, my knees hurt. My knee is so shot that the pain that I'd go through after that walk is just not worth it for me.
And I can, even though I can walk, so I can walk and I can work out, I can definitely relate to your knee situation because I've had, well, obviously I've told a couple people, I think people that are already on here, but I had the accident where it was like I basically
Yeah.
had a huge impact to my left knee. It was like a
Right.
huge, well, it was a huge impact to a point of my leg, but it pushed everything. So where my knee and I think it's called the Albata band, and I'm probably saying that incorrectly. It was all injured. So I did have to go to physical therapy. And then I also had a knee injury like 5 years ago. So in saying all of that, I can relate to you about the knee. And obviously I fixed those issues.
Mhm.
But if you have a messed up knee, you just cannot get around. I
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
so when someone says that, they're not just trying to make an excuse because I've
No.
been there. I know, and it you want to,
Yes, you
but
do.
it just doesn't. It does not happen. You really do have to get it corrected. So
Exactly.
I didn't have to get any surgery, fortunately, but there is a process. Obviously, there's definitely a
Mhm.
process, but you're going to get your surgery, which I totally understand why.
Yeah,
And
and in the meantime, I did go a week or so ago and got the gel shots for my knees, which,
mhm,
of course, instead of me sitting down, of course, a lot of you know that I moved into my own place.
right,
So, instead of, and most of my, I mean, and my friends and family carried the brunt of my things. But
hmm
me, I had to be up trying to unpack this, move this, do all these things, because I just wouldn't be comfortable if my bedroom and bathroom weren't set up.
hmm
And I probably overworked it or whatever. But since then, I have been taking it easy, just not push myself too hard because at this point, everything what's done is done, and that's how it is. But
right.
I wanted to say that for anyone who is thinking about losing weight is that once you get to that point, like I don't know if anyone would uh, on here, I don't know, but I just think that once you get to a certain point where you're feeling that there's nothing else you can do for yourself, there's a time where you have to choose yourself.
There you go. Choose
You have to
yourself.
choose
Yes.
yourself
Mhm.
and choose your life. Because I definitely had to I never got to a point where I didn't want my life. I just wanted my quality of life back. I miss doing all the things that I used to do. I mean, I think my daughters are here. She could tell you I was on the go all the time. Here, there, floop, 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 go, 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 go. I was on the go all the time. I wasn't one to
Say that.
just, yeah, I just wasn't one to just sit at home. And then to
Mhm.
get to a point like that, where you have, and I was a hard person to ask for help. Oh my God, I hated it. But I had to ask, thank goodness for my daughter. Thank goodness for, my granddaughter, my
Mhm.
spouse, like I said, my spouse at the time, um, was very helpful.
Mhm.
They were just like my legs to go, groceries. I couldn't even, I hadn't been grocery shopping in, I don't think I had went grocery shopping close to a year,
Oh my gosh.
and y'all, y'all should have seen the first time I went grocery shopping. Oh, I had to ride on a little cart, of course, because my knee was still messed up.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I went too soon and I got sick in the grocery store. I just started this overwhelming feel. And that when I think about it, I don't know if it was sick or just a little anxiety that hit me because I hadn't been out so long. But
Good
going
point. It's
even going
possible.
to the yes, even going to the grocery store was an amazing thing for me to be able to do because from that point I was ordering groceries in, they were delivering my groceries, but the day that I got to actually go and enjoy picking out my own fruit, picking out my own food, oh my God, it was just, y'all just don't understand how amazing that is. And that's one of my favorite things to do now is just go to the grocery store. Of course, we have to limit ourselves on these days, but
You got that right. Definitely.
I just tell you that this journey has not only helped me to understand myself better,
Hmm
but it's helped me to understand, other people. Because because excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
y'all, I just have to say it. Excuse me. See, the Lord don't
Mm-hmm.
want me to say it because he's choking me up. But
You gonna tell it though.
but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna
You
say
gonna say it.
it. I'm gonna say it because I tell you that you actually find out who's in your corner when you're going through something like this. Because who you thought was rooting for you, or your friend or family member or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it all comes to light.
Oh wow.
I,
Because
I mean,
you have those enablers, like they'll probably like, oh girl, you can eat this. Oh girl, you can eat that. I've seen that. I don't know if you were going through that, but
oh,
I've
but let
seen
me
people
tell
be
you,
like that.
yes. I mean, I even had a family member say to me, uh, they were talking about somebody else being big and oh, she was built bad and she was this. And I was like, see, why are you always talking about somebody being, and I'm sitting here, I can hear you. Oh, you're different. I don't even see you that way. All 464 pounds of me sitting right here.
Look, looking
And you
right at
don't
her
see me
like,
this,
you're like,
and you don't
really?
see me this way. I mean, I think that's one of the worst things that you could say to anybody, first of all, but definitely somebody, while you're talking about somebody else being big and you have someone big in your home, you're standing in the room with them, telling them the story. Really? But you actually just find out who's really in your corner.
Yeah, you do.
You really do. And
You
that's the reason I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Here I go. That's the reason that, my marriage ended.
I understand.
That's the reason that, a few people got fired out of my life. Is
You
that
fire
because,
some people. You gotta fire some people.
yeah, it's okay to give them a pink slip. Give them a pink slip,
That's
honey.
right.
They have to be demoted. While
That's
you was
right.
probably a everyday, all day type, now you're
Mhm.
just kind of down here like, okay, when I have time, it's
And
just,
that's and that's the best thing because you know what? Guess what? Even
yes,
that is a
Aaron.
weight. There's mental weight and
Yes,
there's physical weight. So, and
exactly.
you wanted to get rid of both because both of them do impact your health. So
And I
kudos
tell
to
you,
you.
yes, you have to actually, when you're on any type of journey, if you're still hanging around with the same people that you were in that mix with, doing those things, hanging out, doing this, whatever it was, whether it's drinking, smoking, partying, whatever the case may be, and if you're trying to elevate,
Hmm.
then sometimes you have to just go ahead and say, now here's your pink slip. I'm just sit you over here, send you back in the universe. You'll be all right. You will holler at you every now and then. Instead of you being on an update, you're just kind of on a need to know.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah,
and I just think
if
that,
you want them to know, yeah,
yes, yes, I think that it just applies in your life, because
yeah,
as I always say, you just have whatever you will grow through what you're going through.
yeah. That's true. That is
It
true.
just as we always say, we fake it till we make it. Well, no, baby. Sometimes you gotta face it till you make it. You gotta show
Yeah,
up. You gotta show up for
right.
yourself every
That's
day.
every day. You are
Every
so
day.
right about and consistency, which is what you were doing. I mean, because basically you were doing your own meal plans. You had
Hmm.
your own meal schedule. You knew exactly what you were going to eat, and you kept those things stocked. So you made sure that you weren't eating the wrong things. And then if you
Right.
had to go out to eat, you knew exactly what you could eat that would be okay.
I would
That would,
definitely, I would definitely, but if I was going out to eat, I do it now. I go online, check the menu, see what they have,
mm-hmm.
and what I might want to eat. If it's turkey, something, fish, chicken or whatever. Because now I'm really trying to eat more healthy. Now that I've moved, it's going to be a little bit easier for me to do, and I actually have vegetarian, meat substitutes and things in my freezer as we speak. So
Okay.
I'm really trying to, balance all of this out. But before we shut everything down, I do want to say that I am opening up a challenge. I'm working on the last minute specifics of it. Um, my plan is to lose 50 pounds
That's right.
over a course of maybe 6 months.
Sounds
And whoever wants to join in, of course, is welcome. We'll do like a weigh in every month. maybe give away a little something, something. I don't know yet, but nothing wrong with a few incentives.
That's right.
And I'm actually working on a tracker so that everyone can kind of keep track of things. I mean, your water intake, the five food groups that we all should be eating. Now, I'm not a big vegetable person, but I do like some things, so that's how I kind of substitute.
I love some vegetables, but I hear you. I definitely want to. I'm gonna join you, and I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy the ride. I'm gonna get with these meal plans with this tracker.
Yes,
I'm on
yes.
it. You done motivated me.
Yes, I want to I'll be just offering all types of suggestions and meal
Right.
suggestions. I'll have, the proteins that I use, the powder and the liquid. So I am really psyched about it. I know, especially I want to have something prepared for, like we discussed for the first of the year, because normally that's when people decide, okay, this is when I want to do it,
All the time.
you
They do
know.
all the time. And then the cool thing about it is, like you said, I don't believe in resolutions. I just believe in goals. But it's still good
Yeah,
that you have it ready by the beginning of the year, because there are people that are going to take it seriously and make it a goal and keep going with it.
right, right.
Not
And
everybody's going to just stop after a month. So that's the good thing
right,
about that.
right. And I think that if we just, I think accountability is key.
Oh,
When
yes.
I wish that I would, I mean, I did have someone that I could talk to because they had weight loss surgery as well. So I had, and I have a weight loss sister that we had surgery like 2 months apart from each other. She lives in Canada. And, so it's always helpful to have someone who's on that same journey with you to be able
Mhm.
to go and say, I'm having a bad day. I've got to, I'm having a struggle. I really want to have those McDonald's fries, you know. And and it's not to say that you can't, it's just to say how many, you
And
know.
for me, one thing I will say, I pretty much eat healthy all the time, but I'm gonna more so try like your meal plan in a sense of, I'm pretty sure I probably need to have a different mix of the protein, because I know you were talking about that and I was really loving what I was hearing. So I'm definitely gonna go with that. But what I was about to say is, once you really get on that road to eating healthier, like French fries really kind of
Yeah,
out. It's like
yeah.
you
I
name
was
them,
over
like,
it. Once
yeah,
I
you
didn't
really
want
make
fried
like,
food,
and somebody
I cut
put
out
it right
fried
in front of
foods.
you, you're like, you know, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the cool
Fried
thing about
foods were the
that.
first things to go for me outside of
Hmm.
soda. But fried
Yeah.
foods were the first thing to go, fast food, all of
Yeah.
that. I just had to make a commitment in my mind. Now everyone is not going to be the same. So
Oh yeah.
this was just my mindset, is that
Hmm.
I needed to clear all of that out of my system. So for me, a lot of things when I do stuff, sometimes it's cold turkey.
Yeah.
Stop it
And,
right there.
and actually, a lot of times you do have to do it that way, because if you don't, you'll never really stop.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
definitely, if anybody wants to join, Ron, and I'm definitely going to join, and I highly recommend people do, because I do know, you'll once you start eating a certain way, it'll become a habit.
Oh yeah,
And yeah,
it
and protein
definitely
is
will.
so important anyway. It's definitely a very important thing
Yes,
that
and
you
I
should
and
be
I
doing.
love
Mhm.
protein. Let me tell you. I mean,
Mhm.
I could eat chicken pretty much, every day if I had to. I
Right.
mean, so I don't have a problem eating that, but you just must get the protein in. You must do your protein shakes. You get your protein in. You get your vegetables in. You get your fruit in,
That's
and
right.
it becomes repetitious after a while, and you just don't even give it a second thought.
Right. And I think this is such a good thing that you're doing for many reasons. Well, one thing I'm gonna say really quick, obviously I've got a workout group. Basically, we're
Right.
workout partners, actually is what we call each other. And I'm really thankful that we decided to do it, because at first I wasn't working out every day. I was probably maybe doing like 4 days a week, which, for some people maybe that's good, but really for me, because of what has happened to me, I really did need to do it every day.
Hmm.
So, and because I have those partners, there's times I'm like, "Ugh, I'm not feeling this." I'm like, no, I can't let my partners down. So, so I like, go do something. So to make a long story short, because you're doing this, it's going to be the same thing. People
And
will be like,
I would
look, if
love it.
somebody's struggling, right? If they're
Let's
struggling,
all work together.
Right, exactly. If you're struggling with like certain types of foods and you're about to grab it, you're like, oh my goodness, my, fit my whatever you want to call it, weight loss partners, they'd be like, just reach out to somebody.
Yes, just reach
I
out.
think
I
it's
mean,
a
that's what we're here for.
that's
That's what I'm
right,
here for. Because I
right.
tell you, we can all do this together, honey. We can come
Mhm.
in 2021. Once the COVID is over, we're gonna be trying to be out and go places, child. I need to give the beach the body that I need for it to have. Because I told
Right.
y'all, if I get a flat stomach and new knees, y'all better watch out.
And and the neat thing about this, there's so many great reasons why your weight loss program is going to be excellent because, as y'all know, and I mean, I hate to talk about it, but it's the elephant in the room, and we do have to discuss it. COVID is continuously going up. The cases are getting astronomical right now,
Yes.
and we haven't hit the winter, so it's very possible in the winter. Obviously, it could be a lot worse. With that said, there may be things starting to close down again. And of course, what that means is you'll be home more. So it's going to be really pivotal that you are eating properly and you've got the right meal plans. And the cool thing about it that you mentioned earlier is you lost this 70 pounds and you weren't even working out. And that's going to be really helpful to some people because some people struggle with working out at home anyway, which may come down to that because the gyms may close again. We need to be prepared
Right.
for all these things. But my point is you lost the 70 pounds without going to the gym. It was just dedication and consistency on how you're doing your meal plans. So
Right.
that's why this is really awesome that
And I
you're
tell you, I will tell you now, the COVID got me. I have gained 10 pounds. And that
mhm,
10 pounds, and I know that it was for a multitude of reasons. I'm gonna say the COVID is one, but
mhm,
it was actually just my environment at the time because I was living with some friends and just they had stairs in their home.
okay.
And it was just difficult for me to go out down all that. So I kept a snack box in my room, you know,
Yeah.
I kept me
Hmm.
some peanut butter, honey, some Ritz crackers, some Viennas, honey, just whatever, just
I
whatever.
haven't
The
heard
little
that one in a
packet,
while, but I hear you.
the packaged tuna, things that I could just grab right away. But then while that was all fine, then in creeps, the chips, the cookie, things like that. You want a little something. So I just think that I can say it was the COVID, but also just, me not wanting to go downstairs a lot
I
because of my
understand.
knee.
I
So,
understand.
I have no excuse now because, here I am. I don't have stairs. So, and and the strangest thing is, you guys, is
Mhm.
that I don't, I'm not even as hungry as I was when I was upstairs all the time.
The
What
devil
is,
is a lie, right?
what is going on with that? I'm not even near as hungry as I was when I was upstairs. I'm like, well, so what is going on? I noticed that the other day because I was like, oh, what time is it? Maybe I should have some dinner or something.
And then
What?
you don't even want anything because you're not even hungry anymore.
Right. So I'm just like, what was it? I mean, I don't know. But it's just so crazy how our bodies and our minds work. I just
Mhm.
I appreciate everyone for coming on. I tell you that
Definitely.
if you want to join, just stay tuned. I'll have to figure out the best way for us to stay accountable. I don't know if we need a little small group chat or, I mean, we already have but I don't want to clog that chat up. But,
That's what I'm saying. That might be a good idea, Ronna. Just doing a chat yourself. You can call it
yeah,
the diva, the diva weight loss group.
I want to encompass everyone. So I'm going to come up with something else. But,
Okay.
I just think that, it'll be fantastic. I mean, I would appreciate the company and have people I can talk to about this and, who are like-minded because that
Oh,
really does make a
definitely.
difference. That really does. You
Definitely.
could talk to your family and other friends, but if they're not on that same mindset with you about this particular thing or anything, it's kind of difficult for them to feel where you're coming from, even though they want to support you, but they may not just know how.
Right. And an
Uh,
important thing too,
well,
real
that's
quick,
a
and I know
good
we
one.
need
That's a good one, Aaron. The Diva Healthy You group. Oh, that's
to,
cute. I like
yeah, I
that.
like that. We gotta write that one
Okay,
down.
Aaron. Oh,
There
you
you
get
go.
points, girl.
That's awesome. I love that one.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, and I was going to say too, the other thing too, for the group to keep in mind is if you are working out, also definitely make sure not only to have a scale, but go ahead and have a tape measure, because there'll be times that you may not really lose weight, but you are losing
Losing inches.
because muscle does, weigh more
Mhm.
than
And I
fat.
tell you,
So,
the whole time I only weighed, because I refused to buy a scale at one
mhm,
point, but I
right.
only weighed every 3 months because by me being type 2 at the time, I had to go
Okay.
to the doctor every 3 months. So I weighed every 3 months and saw my progress every 3 months, but I could tell in my clothes and how my clothes fit me. And I
Hmm.
knew if my clothes were big, if they were getting bigger or looser or whatever. But when I did buy a scale, I was
Hmm.
like, um, I felt myself weighing all the time. So when somebody broke the scale, of course, no one knows how that happened. But when somebody broke the scale, I decided to throw it away and not replace it, because what I didn't want to do was be a slave to the scale.
Right.
Because that can become a whole mental thing. If you wake up in the morning, you not haven't lost anything, then you go to the bathroom thinking you're going to lose some more, but you get back on the scale, then you got to do this, you got to do number two to think you're going to get back on the scale. You got to be, I mean, it can become really a mental thing and a mental issue. So
I
for me, there's no scales to live here, child.
Yeah, and that's very valid advice, because it can almost debilitate you, and you would almost not get to where you need to get to, because you'll start
Right.
mentally stressing out. If people, like you were mentioning earlier, if they just decide to do the monthly weigh in, or even if they might have to do the measuring tape, one or the
Right.
other, or
Yeah.
but I agree with you. Definitely don't want to
I
do that
think
every
that
day.
no,
No more
you
than
don't
once
want
a
to.
month for sure.
Yeah, I think for me, once a month or once every 3 months worked for me at that point in
Hmm.
time. I don't
Hmm.
even own a scale now, so I don't even know how I would tell y'all. I just came. I think I weigh 255 right now. I can tell you that. So,
Uh-huh.
and so I don't know. I'd have to go dig up a scale to keep up every month, but I weigh 255 right now at this starting point.
Okay.
So, I want to just weigh 200 and stuff. But I think that what are you saying, Aaron? I didn't have a scale until I met my husband. I used to weigh myself a lot, but got very defeated. So now we have a scale put away and only weigh one or two. Yes, and that's
That's
the thing
right.
is that if you set a goal that you want to lose 25 pounds, or and if you
Mhm.
get on that scale and you've only lost 15 pounds, now you've already beaten. Now you're going to beat yourself up because you failed. You didn't meet your goal, this,
That's
that, and
right.
the other.
Mhm.
It snowballs and becomes a bigger thing than it should be. And what
Absolutely.
we want to do is we want to lose the weight,
Hmm.
um, what organically. We want
There
to
you
lose
go.
the weight, it's just a slower pace. We're not in a hurry. We just want to be a bit more healthier.
And the thing about it too, and I know we got to go. I'm gonna just say this last thing. With
I
a
know
lot of
me and
what
you are
you
both
were,
talking about we got to go, but we just keep talking.
I know. I'm gonna stop in a second. But a lot of the things that you were talking about are things that people can continue to do the rest of their life, and that's very
Yeah.
important, because the reason why diets don't work is because they'll work initially, but a lot of times these like fad diets, you just can't keep going, so then you have to
Mhm.
stop, and then of course your body goes back to where it was. So
Right.
it's
And
good to
I
develop that
never
habit
used
that you can continue through life.
and I never use the word diet.
There you go.
Never. Not in all this time of my journey have I ever used the word diet. I never liked the word diet.
Hmm.
And when you try so many different diets, then it's just like I don't even like that word now.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
but I always said that, when people would ask me, how I was losing weight or whatever, I would just tell them it was just a lifestyle change. I'm strict about a food plan. I have a food plan that I follow, or
Mhm.
something of that area, of that nature. I just don't want to put out, oh, I'm on a diet. First of all, DIE, die.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh, no. And then
Yeah,
you
you're
just
right
tack
about
that T
that.
on the end of it. T, diet. So
Mm-mm.
no,
No,
I need something a little bit more positive.
there you go.
So
Play on words.
yeah, definitely. And there's nothing wrong with the lifestyle change. I mean, we all do it all the time. We probably just don't call it that or pay attention to it, but we
Mhm.
definitely change, whether we change how we're doing structuring our business, whether we're changing how we're doing running our household, whether we're changing, things about ourselves physically, mentally, or whatever. It's all a lifestyle change.
Got that right.
I
You're
mean,
so
because
right.
we just embark on different journeys at certain points in our lives. And, right now, this is me. This is where I'm at. And, I can't say enough how much I have grown
Hmm.
mentally, and just being able to be free, because for me, that was bondage.
Yeah,
For me,
definitely.
that was literally bondage. It was like someone was actually sitting on me, and I just couldn't function.
Mm.
So, now I'm all, and they laugh, oh, you're just so extra, my family. Oh, you're just so extra. My granddaughter in particular. Oh, Gigi, you're so extra. Girl, yes, I'm extra. Here I am. I'm 60 years old. I done lost over 200 pounds. Let me be great. Let me be extra. you know. And I always say she probably wishes that I was the grandmother that was sitting in the corner, knitting or sewing or what. Child, where they do that at? I'm not that one,
Mm-mm.
But I
No,
just
that's
think
definitely not you.
I think that we just have to celebrate everything. I think we have to
That's
celebrate our
right.
lives. I think when it comes to reselling, we have to celebrate it, our wins, our fails, because our failures are what makes us winners.
There you go.
And
I
each and every
totally
day we
agree.
win at something. At some point in time, we win at something. I don't care if it's making one sale or if it's making 10 sales. I don't care if it's you listed 5 items or you listed one item. It's a win, win, win. If either way you go. So weight loss and doing this weight loss challenge is going to be the same way. Whether you lose 1 pound or you lose 5, it's a win-win, because that 1 pound counts towards the next pound that you're going to lose.
And yeah, you remember that program where Oprah had actually showed what a pound looks like?
Oh my God, I remember her
It's
rolling that
crazy.
fat
I
out in
always
that wagon.
remember that. You could probably YouTube it actually, but it's
Yes,
when you think about that 1 pound, and she showed that, like Rhonda said, that 1 pound can make a great difference.
it makes a great difference. And if we're already, as we get older, we already have aches and pains.
Hmm.
So, I mean, why not, try to alleviate that some? Because I tell you, even 10 pounds uh, off your knees and your body and your frame is, working towards being a lifesaver.
Got that right.
So I want to just thank you, Terry. I appreciate you being my first guest on my YouTube channel.
Well, thank
Yay! I'm so
you.
excited.
And you're so phenomenal.
Oh,
You're going to
thank
be
you.
my
You as
first
well.
guest too. So,
And I want to thank everyone in the comments. I appreciate you guys' support. I love you guys. Thank you for embracing me and all my little, things I'm trying to do out here, child. I'm just trying to make it happen, make a change, and hopefully help at least somebody.
there you go.
So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll see you guys at the next installment. Like dig deeper into my weight loss, because we just kind of touched on it, but we'll dig deeper next time.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.